Okay, so where we left off last video was we got to Albuquerque.
Yeah. We left you guys hanging a little bit.
We did.
Because, and once we got to Albuquerque, things just
Stuff hit the fan, people.
Fell apart.
We're probably making it sound much worse than it actually was.
Probably. But to us, it was a pretty stressful time.
Yeah.
We had some, like, rage moments.
There might have been a few tears involved. Maybe a couple. It was definitely him. So, should we just go through a laundry list of what happened when we got to Albuquerque?
Yeah, we'll just hit it from when we pulled in.
So we pulled in on Friday afternoon at around 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing, which is not a thing in and of itself, but it's kind of a thing that affects everything else, is that it was very cold and very windy.
Yeah, we were kind of, I don't know, I had this misconception that Albuquerque it's south.
It was like Phoenix.
So, yeah, it's Phoenix, it's going to be nice. No, okay, it
was like 30 degrees.
30 degrees, and then at night it gets to like 22 degrees, 19 degrees. So things are cold. Really cold. Okay.
So, of course, what happens when you pull in, especially to a house, everybody comes out, all the neighbors, my parents,
inside.
They want to talk, they want to chit chat.
Yeah.
And so, first mistake, don't try to do everything while everybody's around.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple of things that happened.
Yes. So the first thing was we had a hard time fitting in the spot we wanted to, so there was a lot of like back and forth, like let's move over. I did scratch the side of the, you probably didn't even know.
The slide?
The slide on the kitchen side, it has a scratch in. I'll show.
Because it ran into the house.
Yeah. Well, then it ran into the house, and then I pulled forward.
Oh.
Like, there's just too much going on.
Too much going on.
Yeah. So that was one big mistake. And then when I went to go unhook, because we had in the right spot, there was a lot of people. I think you and your dad were in the camper.
My dad and I were in the camper.
Yeah. And I had the chocks in. The actual X chocks were in it, nice and secure. And then I had the landing legs down. I was getting ready to unhook the
fifth wheel.
The fifth wheel. And when I pulled the lever to unlatch it, and the whole fifth wheel like slid back about probably 6 to 8 inches, and it dropped about 2 inches down, which scared the junk out of these people inside the camper.
I was standing inside the bedroom, and it felt like an earthquake. Like it made a crazy, awful sound. Like I thought the whole fifth wheel was going to fall over. It was kind of dramatic.
Yeah. When that big of a machine drops 2 inches, it makes a large sound, and it shocks everybody inside. I don't know why everybody's inside. So the moral of the story on that is just making sure that, if everybody wants to go through, just say, hey, just give us 20 30 minutes to get set up. And then, nice. So that's kind of what we're in sync. We are in sync.
Oh, man.
That was perfect.
That was great.
Yeah. So, just making sure everything is kind of set up and ready to go, and then have everybody come through and do their little walkthrough and show everybody what's going on.
And talk about things.
Chat.
So it was cold, it was windy, there was too many people around. We were stressed because we weren't really fitting where we wanted to. And the reason we weren't fitting there, my parents do have a very large concrete pad next to their house, but the neighbor has put up a little carport type of thing.
It's like one of those things you get at Costco.
It's like metal poles with a tent, and it's cemented to the ground, so you can't move it. And so when we're where we're supposed to be, our slides just don't come out all the way because they would run into the carport or run into the house. So then we had to scoot forward a little bit so the slides could come all the way out. But then we're like very close to like hanging actually into the street. Like the fifth wheel is a little bit overhanging into the street. So we decided to readjust and actually sit right in their front yard.
Yes.
Which I'm sure makes the HOA people, I mean, my parents' neighborhood is very old, so
built in the 1950s.
Built in the 1950s. They don't really have a very intense HOA. But I'm sure the neighbors are probably not too pleased that we're there. But my dad's attitude is kind of like, it's temporary. They'll be gone in a couple of weeks. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next issue, a lot of stuff was broken.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Both of the side tables that Paul built and put in came unattached from the wall.
The reason why one of them was because one, it was shaking really badly from, there's a couple
rough road.
roads from around Flagstaff, and I think I only put like 2 actual screws in the sides, thinking, you know, oh, this will be fine, this will hold. They did feel very secure, but looking at it again, I did put some little L bracket, 2 L brackets on each one, and then I put like maybe 4 screws in each bracket, so we've got plenty of screws in there now.
Yeah.
It's nice and solid, taken care of, but it just kind of stinks that, you know, they came away from the table and they looked terrible.
And the giant desk in the back as well. So when we were in Joshua Tree, I was working and I heard this noise and I was like, what is this noise? And so Paul came over to investigate, and we discovered that the desk was cracking. Like the desk itself was like separating, kind of in the middle.
It's made out of 3 pieces of cedar that I glued together, and I put some screws in to kind of hold the whole entire, all 3 pieces together. But the biggest problem is Washington weather is very humid, and it stays at about 50 to 60% humidity.
Yeah.
And when you get down to like Joshua Tree in California, and it's super dry, it's probably in the 20% or even lower. It just all the moisture just got totally sucked out of the wood, and it just all started to split.
So it doesn't seem like it's going to affect really, like it's not going to like fall apart or anything like that, but just has a giant crack in it. And part of the desk also came off of the wall, right?
Yes.
And you had to reattach that.
Yeah. And I think part of it, because I didn't have any, so we've got some L brackets on the side of the table, and I had a ratchet strap going across to hold the chairs up against the table.
Yeah.
And those may have been just too strong, or the shifting of the RV naturally just did a little bit too much shifting, and it just yanked one side away from the wall, and it just worked that screw out, so it just pulled the screw away. So
we had a lot of stuff to fix.
Yeah. Since then, I've put little lag bolts in underneath to bungee the chairs instead of putting a ratchet strap across.
Yeah.
So
what else was wrong? We had all kinds of electrical problems.
Yeah, so
which didn't actually turn out to be electrical problems.
It didn't.
But it was really just a learning.
Right.
So my mom's friend came to visit.
Yes.
We didn't actually call an electrician.
No.
She was visiting. We discovered she was an electrician. We didn't know that at the time.
She just offered out her
And so we said,
suggestions.
hey, can we kind of pick your brain for a second? So she and Paul kind of went around and checked everything out.
She looked at the rig, and she discovered a few kind of big alarming things that, and I kind of knew these were problems, but to have an electrician actually say, stop what you're doing,
go fix this.
Take it to, you know, she suggested us we go to Camping World. I took it up there. So they looked through it. They said the solar is fine, it's perfect, everything's looking good, wires are all tight, everything looks nice and buttoned up, there's no issues with anything. They said they couldn't check the Victron inverter. They couldn't actually test that, but he's like, if anything's going wrong, it's going to be that. And it's brand new, so and it is under warranty, and the Victron is a fantastic company that's going to take care of it if it is something wrong. So we brought it back. The other issue was where we were plugged into it was probably like a 15 amp just regular plug in my dad. Your dad's my dad too.
Yeah.
His garage. We have the 30 amp going into there, so we plugged in there. It was pulling too many amps, so it was constantly breaking the breaker, the fuse. And on our control panel in the coach, there's a little dial that goes up to 50 amp and all the way down to like, I think you can do like 2 or 3 amp. So I did tune that down to 20 amp, and we haven't had any issues since then. I didn't really understand what that was for until I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, that's the energy that you're pulling from wherever you're at. So your shore power, that's what that is. So I'll show a picture of what that looks like. Yeah.
So bottom line, we didn't really have any like technical issues. We probably just didn't really fully understand what was going on, like how everything was working together. Because after you did the solar modification, it kind of changed stuff.
Everything's hooked up the way it's supposed to. It's all working well. And next time we go to plug into a 50 amp breaker, when we go to an RV park, the whole coach is going to work exactly like it's supposed to.
Maybe we could do a whole video just on this.
Maybe.
Could be good. I feel like it could be helpful.
Yeah.
So after Camping World, we felt much better about things. The weather was better, even though it did snow a little bit on Thursday. If you're familiar with Albuquerque, if it snows, it's kind of not really a big deal. Like, unless it like dumps like inches of snow, which happens like once every 10 years. It's kind of gone the next day. So it was very sunny during the day, so it was warmer, and we were feeling much more positive about things. We were situated in the front yard, so we were feeling better about that. We had our electric stuff kind of under control. Paul had reattached all of the stuff, so things were looking up.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Paul also went to purchase one of our goals in Albuquerque was to get the bikes under control. Because up until then, yeah,
we were putting them in the coach and putting the slides together and like basically sandwiching them between our ottoman and the fireplace and the couch, and just
it was just a pain in the butt to like take them in and put them out and take them in and put them out.
Yeah.
So we needed a bike rack solution.
Yeah.
So we found one.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell them about that.
We went on Facebook Marketplace, found a gentleman that was selling one. So I got a receiver hitch that mounts to the bumper of the RV, the fifth wheel. So it'll mount on there, and the guy actually at the camping, or I think it's Trailer World or something here in Albuquerque, he told me to put it inverted so that it's higher up so it won't drag. So I did that. I torqued it down to 110 foot-pounds.
Very excited about the bike rack.
The way that he modified this bike rack to have like an actual bolt that bolts in and it screws into the thing. I'll show you what that looks like. He bolted it in so it screws in and it holds that bike rack super strong.
So we're excited about that.
Yes.
So in addition to all the tough stuff, we did a lot of fun things too.
Good.
So we, the day after we arrived in Albuquerque was my dad's 70th birthday. So we celebrated.
Happy birthday, Frank.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dad. We went to New Mexico UNM Lobos game, which is something we love to do, men's basketball. And they won against the Air Force Academy. Woo! Woof, woof, woof. So we had a good time at the game, and then we went to dinner, which was great. And then I went to go visit my grandma as well. She's in assisted living, and we haven't seen her in a while, so it was nice to just kind of chat with her. We also sold my car.
Yes, the Blueberry is gone.
The Blueberry is finally gone after a very long journey down here separate. A really good friend of mine needed a new vehicle, and we're just so happy that worked out. So we sold that car the second day after we got to Albuquerque, so we didn't really have to worry about Blueberry anymore, which is really great. We're happy that it's going to bless her and her family. So that was another fun thing that happened. And then what else? Let's look at our notes. Oh! Before we sold the Blueberry,
oh yes,
we took it to the car wash.
Mr.
Car Wash.
Oh, Mr. Car. I'm like Mr.
Mr. What? No, it's just Mr.
So if you've seen Breaking Bad, you know this car wash.
And you know Breaking Bad takes place in Albuquerque. So
it does. The entire movie. So it's actually the car wash that Walter White buys.
Very famous.
That's the car wash that
I grew up getting my car washed at my entire life.
Yeah.
So we went over there.
They've redone it.
And it looks really nice.
A lot better.
They've done a great job with it.
Yeah.
They did a really good job cleaning up both of our cars.
They did.
They have lots of fun merchandise in there from Breaking Bad, and it's just kind of a fun little thing to do, especially if you're a fan of the show. So
if you're ever coming through Breaking
through Breaking Bad,
if you're ever coming through Albuquerque, stop at Mr. Car Wash.
It's on Manal and Eubank.
Yes.
That's where you can go find it.
You can also go into Old Town and take a Breaking Bad tour.
Oh yeah, tour.
But
super fun.
I would reserve a spot a couple months in advance.
Yeah, it sells out.
Okay, because it sells out and you're not going to get on. But that's a fantastic tour. It's a lot of fun.
We did that a couple of years ago when we came to visit. Yeah. We're not doing it again, but
it's really cool. Definitely do it.
Oh, we had to do some organization projects.
Yeah, so we went to the Container Store, which we are both huge fans.
Big fan of the Container Store. We really needed to get the top drawer of the drawer unit between our seats at the desk organized. That little drawer unit, let me tell you, great investment. We didn't purchase it for the RV, we purchased it to have before, but it is amazing because it's really, the drawers are really deep, and so you can fit a lot of stuff in there. So we've actually fit a ton of stuff in that drawer unit. Yeah. But the top drawer was a little crazy. So we went to the Container Store, and they have a really cool thing where you can like pull out this thing and like plan your drawer space with the organizers.
It's a shelf that pulls out, and it's got all the measurements on there. So we don't even have to, you just have to know your measurement in your drawer. Your measurements. And they've got all the little containers, probably a whole wall of containers you can just like mix and match and figure out what's gonna fit on that drawer. And then you take it home, you know it's gonna fit.
Yeah. So super cool. We also went to lunch at this cool place called Sushi Freak. And they make your sushi, like you just order and they just like make it right there, cool. Like kind of like a Chipotle
Sort
for
of,
sushi. Yeah, it was kind of neat.
They've got a mix and match one. You can make your own, or you can pick from the menu.
Rolls, predetermined rolls or whatever.
They were pretty good.
That was super fun.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of work done. So, that's like the boring stuff. But the last thing that we rounded out the week with was some more modifications. We wanted to put a little bench or a shelf.
Oh, yes.
Behind the couch.
All right, so we're having a problem where we have the knobs are right here, and they're really close to the couch. I don't know if you can see this. Mm-hmm. So we needed to pull it away from the wall a little bit. So we decided to make a little 6-inch ledge. So you can also put like your coffee cup and other things, phone, chargers, all that stuff back here. So I went to the hardware store, Lowe's, picked up 2 2x6 by 8 footers, and then like this little plastic. It's like a plastic. It's not actually wood. So I just basically framed it up, made it into a big box. Cut up the 2x6s. Used 3 bolts in each one, so a total of 18 screws. And I'm just gonna pull it out. Bolts to the floor, bolts to the wall. Let's see how that goes. Nice on. So I made some little cuts right here just to keep the wires in, so I can push it up against the wall. Keep those wires in. I also wanted to put a hole right here because there's a plug right here. Yep. And we can put like a little power strip right here, so we can plug our phones in and keep our phones back here or whatever. But I think it should be nice and sturdy.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I'm gonna have to figure out where to drill in. I put some little pilot holes in the wood. They're actually on this side now I'm looking at it, but I'll put some little pilot holes, but there's no telling like where the studs are in here. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason for where studs are at those places. Yeah.
There's a little bit of separation now, so the blinds don't hit the back of the couch. Yep. And we were able to put a power strip back there as well for additional plugins, because we always kind of plug stuff in.
It needs power. Jeez. Yeah, it turned out great.
So that kind of rounded out the week, and we also planned, we didn't plan this before we got to Albuquerque, but we decided to plan it because why not? But Paul's daughter and her husband live up in Colorado Springs, which is actually where we're sitting at right now.
We're in Colorado.
And so we chatted with them about when they might have off work, and so we decided to plan a little trip up to see them. Colorado Springs is only about 4.5, 5 hours away from Albuquerque. So we planned that out, and that's what we'll be sharing in next week's video. Oh, exciting.
This place is beautiful. Yeah. I can't wait for next week's video. This is going to be like...
Just wait, you guys. This place is insane.
Yeah. If you don't know what the Broadmoor is and you've never been here, if you're coming through Colorado, it's right off the main drag from like Denver, Colorado Springs. It's in this area. So even if you don't come and stay here, which it's a little pricey, they have a golf course that's $200 and some odd dollars a person. If you don't come through and actually want to stay here, definitely
just come to visit. There's shops and restaurants and just a beautiful scenery, and you'll see all of that next week.
Lots of history. We'll share all that with you.
Yeah.
Don't miss next week's video.
Don't miss it. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah.
About our time?
It's been a fantastic adventure. 3 weeks in. How many in?
What's today?
Today's the 20th.
It's 3 weeks today
21st.
That we left.
Oh yeah.
We left 3 weeks ago today. Oh my gosh.
Man.
It kind of feels like it flew by, and it also kind of feels like it's been like 6 months.
Yeah. It's been great.
It's been really good. A lot of ups and downs, more ups than downs, which is good. But yeah, and we're excited. We have plans. We have our plans mostly solidified for the next couple of months. So we're excited to share that too.
Yep.
My glasses are sticking out.
That's not helping.
Not helping. Okay.
All right.
Well, we will talk to you soon. Enjoy this last minute footage and the bloopers at the end.
Oh my God.
Bye. I don't know. I feel like I need to have my sunglasses on. Is that weird?
Right. Yeah. People want to see your eyes.
Ugh, but I want to put them on. No, this is fine. It's who I am, honey.
It's who I am. You can't change it.
You can't tell me that I can't have my sunglasses. Ugh.
So while you guys are using the bathroom, you can see all the places we went. You guys.
Who are going to come to the bathroom in our
People are gonna
camper,
have to use the
apparently.
bathroom in the camper. Free public restaurant.
I got my front page after.